許せ、サスケ。これで最後だ。
What's up everybody, it's your boy Hokage, welcome to the video. As you can see by the video's title, this day isn't only special for the Boruto series, it's also special for me. So basically today I've hit 9,000 subscribers and I wanted to thank you. I already did it over Twitter, but I know that not all of my subscribers follow me on Twitter, obviously, because many people don't even have one. So here it is. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate the daily support, the positive comments, and just everything you guys do on a day-to-day basis. You guys are awesome. Today we managed to make this great Boruto community, and you know, the tuning exams are gonna start in the next couple of episodes. It's just gonna get better and better, more lit, more epic. More people are gonna keep joining, and honestly I think the future is very, very bright, both for the series and for this channel, and obviously for you guys as well, and girls. Yeah, with that said, I think I'm gonna move on to the review. But before that, just one more thing. I want to say thank you to my bro Remo. He made an intro for me, and basically I'm gonna show it at the end of this video because I know that I already took a lot of your time. So yeah, let's talk about Boruto episode 50. I just watched my episode review, and for some reason I completely forgot to mention this, but basically there was this soundtrack called Kakugo that played in this episode. That's my favorite soundtrack in all of Boruto so far, and I'm gonna have it in the description below because I know that quite a few people like it. But in case you didn't know the name, it's Kakugo, and you're gonna have it in the description below. And yeah, let's start with the review. Now, judging from people's comments on Twitter so far, I realized that you either hate or you love this episode. Now, obviously, this doesn't apply to everybody. Some of y'all might be okay with this episode, but I can understand both perspectives. I'm one of those people who really loved this episode, but then again I can understand why somebody wouldn't like it because, you know, it was filled with flashbacks and there wasn't any progression. But the thing is, this episode, in my honest opinion, did its job perfectly. And you know, in many different series you have this one episode that, you know, showcases some of the previous events, and it's like, it's an episode that obviously the plot didn't progress at all, right? But it's an episode that you're supposed to watch and relax, if you get what I mean. Because obviously we're going to get into a big arc. I'm referring to the importance of the arc. And it's going to be longer, I guess, than most of the Boruto arcs so far. Or than all of them, to be more precise. So, yeah, I don't feel like anything needs to be rushed. This was a great episode. I keep talking about this, you know, throughout my reviews whenever I notice something like that. But, you know, we've been getting a lot of nostalgic moments, Naruto nostalgic moments in Boruto. Basically moments that remind us of Naruto Part 1, Shippuden, whatever. And I know like that 95% of us saw Naruto Shippuden, but there are a couple of people who who started watching Boruto without Naruto, which is in my opinion crazy. You know, they don't feel this, but we do. But this episode, you could feel that nostalgia from the early episodes of Boruto. And in my honest opinion, I don't want anybody to be offended, but if you haven't felt the tiniest, a tiny bit of nostalgia at least once throughout this episode, maybe regarding your favorite character or something like that, you ain't a true fan. And I'm not even joking. I'm not saying that you guys need to like this episode. I completely respect everybody's opinion. But if there wasn't a single moment in the episode that made you smile or something like that, I really don't know. I don't know what you're doing with Boruto. Go watch other series. If you don't know what to watch or what manga to read, just leave a question in the comment section. I have a lot of recommendations. But yeah, you know, this episode focuses on the conversation between Shino, Udon, Konohamaru, and Moegi, obviously Hanabi joins later. But anyway, they're reflecting upon their students and how all of them developed. And I've been talking about this many times in the past. Boruto's character development for the side characters, I mean for all characters in general, except Wasabi and Amida, was just great. And also Sumire wasn't developed the most. Excuse me, the Sumire's decision to kill everybody wasn't executed really well, in my honest opinion, at the end of the Nue arc. But regardless of that, I think, you know, that the series is doing a great job with the development of its characters and in the way that they showcased the progression of these characters. Now, you know, the flashbacks we saw focused on Team 7, on Iwabe, Denki, and Metal Lee, the new Inoshika Cho trio, and Sumire was there. Now, I know that some people might be thinking, why didn't they put Wasabi and Amida, right? That's the question. But the thing is, what should they put about Wasabi and Amida in there? Like, Namida cries, Wasabi has a dope ability. She was very I don't want to say she was mean, but she was definitely not a good person in Boruto episode 49. So I don't know what they would put, like what footage of not Wasabi and Namida. But anyway, those two weren't there. And yeah, I liked it. I must say that I liked it, because obviously I review this series every week. This is my 50th review. And obviously, when you review something, when you talk about an episode, whenever you finish it, you're gonna memorize things more easily than regular people. Because obviously, even you, all of us forget some details. You can't memorize exactly every event, every line, you know, every single thing that happens in the show. So this is really good, you know, for us to reflect upon these episodes. And you gotta take into consideration that they did this on purpose, because this was the 50th episode. That's like a huge number. Another 50, and boom, we are 100 episodes into the series. And you know, I think that this episode, considering the fact that I know what's gonna happen in the future, is really important, because, you know, getting a chill episode, a funny episode, like, we won't see that for a long period right now. You saw the preview for the next episode. Naruto is supposedly going to forget about Boruto's birthday, or he's not gonna attend his birthday, something like that. You saw the preview. Obviously, that's not gonna be, you know, that's something sad, right, for Boruto's character. And I mean, you feel sad for the character. So the point is, you're not gonna see any episodes like this one anytime soon. And obviously, episode 52 is when the Momoshiki arc starts, and, you know, we're getting a new opening then. Opening 3, and I think the new ending song is also gonna debut on the 4th of April, but I'm not 100% sure. But we're all waiting for that opening, right? Anyway, I mentioned Boruto a couple of moments ago, and obviously I was satisfied to see, you know, the flashbacks of all the characters. But, you know, when the Jonins were discussing about Boruto, that was my favorite part. Obviously, I'm a bit biased because Boruto is my favorite next gen character. But it's true, at the start, everybody thought that, you know, he was just this random rich kid, Hokage's son, that's gonna act like a little brat or whatever. But, you know, he changed so many people, you know, with his words. And, you know, he's overall a great character, a really fun main character. And yeah, I even did a video about Boruto titled The Truth About Boruto Uzumaki. It's gonna pop up at the end of this video. You probably saw it, because I used to talk about that video a lot, because it's one of my favorite videos. Because in that video I explained why, in my opinion, Boruto is pretty much the perfect protagonist, and for Boruto Naruto Next Generations. And yeah, now I want to mention this. A lot of people before the episode, and, you know, in the last couple of weeks, were mentioning how they ship Konohamaru and Hanabi. And I think somebody asked me, what do you think about this? And I just casually replied, I ship them. Now, since this is a video, let me elaborate. I don't ship too many anime couples. The only couple that I'm shipping in Boruto is Borusara, but I can't say the same thing for Konohamaru and Hanabi. But I will say this though, Konohamaru's personality. Obviously, he's not the most confident person ever. He's very serious, which is of course a sign that he matured, but serious in a nervous way sometimes, if you get what I mean. And on the other side, we have Hanabi, who is always relaxed. She always jokes around, and I really when I think about it, those two really fit each other. And it's a unique scenario, because usually, maybe, I don't know, I'm not saying that this is always the case, but usually, the girl is the one that's shy, and the boy is more confident. But no, here we have Hanabi, who's always, as I said, ready to make a good joke or whatever, and Konohamaru is kind of serious. And as I said, I feel like they would fit each other really nice. But the thing is, I didn't see too much. I didn't see any foreshadowing of that in this episode. Even when they were discussing about Boruto and how they both like it when Boruto calls Hanabi big sis, and when he calls Konohamaru big bro, and they did this, if you remember, high-fived each other, and it felt like friends, right? So I don't know. All right, here's an extra fact. This shot right here, this shot of Hanabi, yeah, you can interpret it in a different way, which isn't too appropriate. I hope you get my point, but yeah, let's move on with the review. But if it was possible, I would like to see them ending up together, but if it doesn't happen, I'm not gonna be pissed or anything like that. I think I've mentioned this in one of my previous reviews, God knows which review exactly, but I really like Moegi. I really like her personality. She seems like she's strict or whatever, but then again, she's also very positive, open-minded. She's constantly telling Konohamaru, let Boruto take the Chunin exams. And yeah, also Shino was in this episode, which made me happy. In the early academy days, he was getting a lot of screen time. Now he gets less screen time, so it's always nostalgic seeing Shino. Excuse me. And yeah, Udon was also there. A lot of gag moments in this episode, especially with Shino. And the dialogue, it feels like a real dialogue. At one point when the Jonins were discussing about Iwabe, somebody said repeater or something like that, and Udon was like, don't mention that word or something like that, because obviously he repeated a couple of times. So it all connects really well, and the way that the dialogue is written is one of the biggest positives of the Boruto series in general. In my opinion, I feel like the dialogue can be very complex in many situations. It can be symbolic. It has a lot of hints. Also, another hint that Denki is gonna get important in the future basically happened in this episode. I think somebody mentioned, I think it was Udon, I'm not 100% sure, because all of them were talking and we were looking at the flashbacks. But anyway, somebody mentioned how his intellectual skills will be very important in the future. And I also talked about this in the past, but let me just repeat it once again. The first official friend of Boruto that we saw on screen, obviously, because he knew some of the children from the academy even before. But in the first episode, the first guy that meets Boruto is Denki, right? So yeah, obviously he's gonna be important, and he was the first person to trigger Boruto's Jogen. And he's not just a regular I don't know, side character. And also somebody also mentioned it in this episode, I agree with that, that Denki's development, his progression was just magnificent, which is true. He changed a lot from the start of the series. Not only Denki, a lot of characters, Boruto, Sarada, and Mitsuki, they developed a lot. Obviously, we saw Mitsuki when he was a kid, and we saw him, in that episode when we saw him entering the Sage Mode, and we know him now. Boruto and Sarada, obviously, two main characters, they got a lot of development. Sumire did get, development. It's just I didn't like the way it was executed in the Nue arc, but that doesn't change the fact that she changed. Also, Ino Shikacho, Inojin, we had that episode that focused on him. I think it was episode 33. For me, it was a great episode, even though some people don't like it. Shikadai, we literally just had an arc about him. As for Chocho, I mean, you know, throughout the series, you know, she's been making these cringy jokes about food all the time, kind of repetitive, but still, she has a lot of potential. I feel like she was developed the least, because, you know, obviously we do know that she's very confident in her skills and herself and all that, and, you know, she makes these cringy jokes, but, like, I expect more from Chocho in the future of the series, definitely. Yeah, it's overall it's a huge day for Boruto, because yeah, this quote unquote kid friendly period is done. The next episode focuses on Boruto's birthday, and after that the Momoshiki arc starts. And obviously, if you read the manga, you know what comes after that arc. We have the introduction of the car organization and all that. But I'm not going to talk about that right now, because I don't want to spoil the plot of manga for people who stick only to the anime. I will now give the rating for this episode. And before I give it, which is obvious, but every time I make some controversial decision, I like to explain it, because I don't want anybody to get like, why did you give this episode such a high score? Every episode has a purpose. Purpose of the episode could be to showcase a great fight. It could be to develop a side character. It could be just a regular episode. I don't know, let's say mission, Team 7 mission that is split into 2 episodes. And it can be a flashback episode. And you will probably have more types. These are just some of the episode types that came to my mind now that I thought about it. For a flashback type of episode, this episode was perfect, and it was placed at a perfect time. The timing is the key reason why this episode gets a 10 out of 10 from me, because it wasn't placed too early, and it's not like it was placed too late when it's pointless. No, the Genin, like we saw the academy period, right? We had the Genin graduation exam, we had a couple of missions, the Chunin exams are about to start in the next couple of episodes, and in between the Chunin exams and, you know, the mission period, we get this episode. The timing is literally, and I'm not even joking, perfect, which is why this episode gets 10 out of 10 from me. I will say this once again. When I give ratings to the episodes, I look at things objectively. There are definitely episodes which got 9 or 8.5 from me that I like more than this one. But objectively speaking, there's nothing wrong with this episode. The purpose of it was, you know, for us to sit back, reflect, and yeah, that's exactly what happened. That was your boy Hokage. Twitter and Discord links are in the description below. And as I said at the start of the video, I will show you the intro that Remo made for me. Remo, my bro, thank you once again. And yeah, guys, I will see you in my next video. Bye. Alright, so here is the intro. Thank you, Remo, once again. It's a nice intro, I like it. Thank you, bro, once again, and I will see you in my next video, guys. Bye.